And now we're live. What's the crack? What's the crack, folks? Welcome to another hobby hangout on a Sunday. We're organised well. I'm your host, as usual, Skarnir, and on this week we have our very special guest, Dread.
On a Sunday, we're organised
Oh
well.
yeah, audio loop.
There is an echo for you. Sorry.
Oh Jesus! I get everything working and he's sabotaging it. Go on, we've Dread on this week.
I've got the phone there. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat, so I don't miss what you guys are saying in the chat there that are following.
See, he's well versed at this stage. You're a dog with what needs to be done. So introduce yourself to anyone on the channel who doesn't know you, Dread.
I'm Dread of Dread Waaagh Gaming, and I'm absent. So I'm back. I will be very soon. I've just I put together my PC, which is one of the things that was sort of holding me up. So I'll show you quickly that here. There she is.
So you've been keeping yourself busy building, bodging.
Yeah, building the PC and getting it all worky and getting the desk all fixed up back to normal. So I've got all my shelves under here so I can build and paint down here. I'm going to have to just set up the spray booth in this position as well, probably, when I use that. So.
Oh yeah, because you've totally changed your desk. Because that was all space, and now you've put your little organisers, and then your spray booth was in where the PC is now and stuff.
The cupboards got shortened as well above, so things have rearranged, and these paint racks weren't here before. These ones, I've still got 5 racks up there, but I've got these 2 down here instead of in the cupboard now. So, but I think it's easier. At least I can get to things a little bit more. I felt like with the drawers up in the cupboard, it wasn't really getting me going on building things. Which is tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just sort of build something from scratch, because I need to get back into the hobby. It's been a little while, so get back in the swing of it, so to speak.
Well, yeah, I think so. I know how you feel, man. It's like for me as well. I think it's just been that sort of year for some folk. You know what I mean? Where it's just motivation sort of dried up. Like even myself personally, I was like, I switched jobs, so I got busied with that, and then I've been getting mad into BattleTech as well. So I'm like, BattleTech, and up to me eyeballs and new mechs, which are looking sweet. They're about the same. Oh look, about the same size.
Well, it started out seeming a bit like a summer holiday, didn't it? Like, something that could be 4 or 6 weeks or something, and then everything go back to normal. But it's not the way it happened. So
no.
As much as you've got to thought, well, I'll just produce a bunch more videos and I'll have some fun, and it'll all blow over very soon. It's not really what happened. So.
This is true. Everyone's like, I'll finally get my army painted. It's like, yeah, sure you will, mate. Sure. No, I haven't stopped working either. So it's like, I only had a time off there a couple of weeks ago, was it? In October, where I was supposed to go out and meet yourself, and then it's like, lo and behold, back into lockdown. So can't even go visiting. No winning, I tell you, no winning. But yeah.
No, we should be all right in a couple of weeks, shouldn't we? We should be able to go out and about a little bit further at least.
We'll see.
A few more things open, I think, just for the Christmas period.
Probably, yeah. I reckon so. I'd be surprised if it isn't, to be honest with you. I want to see how it's going. So who have we got in the comments section? We got Steve-O's here, yourself commenting, Augustus. We've Grant Walter. We've Orc Stuff. Rivets and Daka is here. Sled. I always find his name hard to say for some reason. And Essex Boys is here as well. And mostly Zen. What is the crack, folks? How are you all keeping? Steve-O saying it's good to see his mug again. He must have been missing you when you went on the missing list there. You took your hiatus.
Well, I had a bit of different sort of things to stimulate and to sort of put me off. Like I've had this idea for the last couple of years since I started the channel that I wanted to have co-hosts as puppets, and I have scripted ideas for them, and I've been banging on about them for ages. But the lady that was doing them for me, she's just been too busy, and what with everything, with the changes that have gone on this year, she's just not been able to do it. So she just said, look, sorry. So I'm back to sort of square one on that one. So I'm sort of a bit, I've got an idea of how I want my show to go, and I can't get there yet. one of the things that was in the way was the PC, so I've got that at least. So at least I can sort of record the way I want to. I'm going to make a return to doing the sort of 1 hour-ish sort of shows, which is a sort of a mixed bag show. So there'll be a little bit of news, a little bit of converting, a little bit of messing about, and just, you know, all sorts of stuff. Just a mixed bag like I did before, because people seem to enjoy those shows. But then my only issue with them before was that your topics aren't so searchable. You know, if someone says, "Oh yeah, I know Dread did something about building grot tanks," well then they've got to like watch loads of full episodes to try and find that bit. So what I've always wanted to do is to break them bits down into little like segments and separate them off from the main episode. But with just the phone, I didn't have the capacity to do that. I couldn't store more than one video at a time, edit it, export it and upload it. I had to then delete it and then work on the next one. I couldn't have more than one thing going on at once. So now I've got a computer with 3 terabytes of storage. I can manage, you know. So,
You've said, yeah. So you were finding like you were frustrated with your physical constraints as to what
yeah,
you could do and your capabilities.
so now I've got more capabilities. I just want to. There's a few things I want to change the content, but you know, I can aim towards and lean towards that.
All right. So you're still staying mostly orky focused, I take it.
Yeah, will be, yeah.
Good stuff.
Good bit of Gaslands as well, I suppose, because I didn't mean to get into that more than I did.
Yeah, what happened to Gaslands, man? It was like it came on the scene, everyone was like, "Yay!" and then I think we all got distracted or something. I don't know what happened.
It's my fault, isn't it? I went playing the trumpet really loud. I was like, "Hey, Gaslands, everybody, Gaslands, Gaslands!" And then they're like, "Okay, Dread, show us the next step." And where is he? Where's Dread?
Where's Dread?
Where's he gone?
What happened?
I'm like that party hyper that comes in and goes, "Hey, everybody dance!" Just fucked off.
You're the ultimate in hype man. Is that what it is? And then it's like, where is he? He's like, he's gone. He's off to the next party already.
Yeah,
I love it.
sorry about that, guys. I do feel guilty. I will be honest, viewers. I do feel guilty, and especially to the really dedicated people in the community who are not only constantly still contacting me and sending me stuff and giving a shit. They're fantastic. So that, you know, I do feel guilty and I do feel like I owe them something. So I've got to get back to it, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, well, good.
Thank you for keeping the pressure applied. Make me feel relevant still. Like I've got to crack on for you.
Yeah. It can be. It's a bit of a strange dilemma. It's like wanting to create stuff, but I suppose that it's all about like what you want to do with the channel. Like for me, having a YouTube channel is sort of a catalyst to get a hobby done and try and sort of. I'm a bit like you. I'm a bit like an ideas man, and I need to sort of keep myself grounded in stuff. Otherwise, I go like pie in the sky. It's like, oh, I could do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do that, and then it's like stuff doesn't get done. That really annoys me. I think it annoys other people too. It's like, oh, you said you'd do this. It's like, mate. It's like, I know. Sometimes I say I'll do stuff, it just doesn't happen. But I like having the YouTube channel as a sort of like a catalyst from my hobby. I think the only issue I'd have is where it would get to the stage that it would be in the way. You know what I mean? Because some people go really into it and they'll find that issue. I think we probably know a few people who've had that problem where it's.
I think it's easy. I think I've dabbled in every sort of emotion myself with YouTube before I decided no, that's not useful, or that's not a good way to go about it. It's not working for me. For example, worrying too much about the views and the likes on videos. You know, like I one of the still to date, the video that took me the very longest to put together was the one that's probably still my very shortest video, which is the voice and sort of rolling into a sort of cartoon of the comic book, the one from the Warhammer community that's done by Dr. Jeff, the Grots one. That is only like 2 or 3 minutes long, that video, and it took me so long, a couple of days, like it was a real pain. and I said, oh, I put in the comments like, if it gets 100 likes, I'll do a part 2. And I was sort of all ready to go and do a part 2, but like it only got like a handful of likes, like 20 likes or something like that. And almost a year later, I looked at it and it's only on like 30 or 40 likes. I was like, yeah, I can't bother anyway. Right, so that wasn't worthwhile. And that's what I felt, and that's how I thought that was the crack. But then I was paying too much attention to that, because like only on the 28th of October, all of a sudden, that particular video just spiked. It just went mad, and it's now got 650 or something likes. I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you really caught me with my pants down, lads, because now I can't even remember the voices I put on for that. Let alone like, have I got any of them bits of like, have I got anything left from what I was working on that? Because it was a partly finished project. I just needed to do the voices for it, but now I think I'd have to start it again. I don't know, like, so yeah, I've got to look, like, just do what I want to do, put it out, and not worry about at the time how it's received, because some things do better over time anyway,
Oh yeah, they can take a life of their own, and like they really can. It's really kind of odd in that regard. Like, I think the most popular video I ever did was about contrast paints, and it was terrible. I literally
Yeah.
I got some images off of someone when they were new that were leaked, and I was like, oh look, new contrast paints and Space Marine. And it was like a 2-minute video, but it was like super popular, and I was like, yeah, that's great for views and stuff like that, but it's not really the function of my channel. You know, there is this sort of constantly getting analytics and view statistics and all that type of stuff. I think it's designed to be that sort of like addictive fix that you kind of get off of social media, where you'll put something up like an image and it'll be like, oh, how many likes did I get, or how many shares did my post get? That sort of, I think it's very much feeds into that sort of area.
I'd agree. It definitely does, because particularly when I started out, like, now I've learned that I don't want to look at that so much, and I don't want to care about that so much. But certainly when I started out, I struggled myself with caring too much about stuff. I didn't to start with, and then I did, and then I didn't, and then I did. Like, I went through,
The
like I
motions.
say, all the different motions with it, and now I've decided where I'm at. I think I had to pull myself away for a little while. And I've seen other people do that too. I've seen other people sort of go and delete everything they've done, and then come back, and then, no, I don't like this, and I'm not, like, in and out. So I think if you can, it's like learning to ride a bike. You need to find what works for you, and once you get going, then you're all right. So I've just persevered and stuck with it. I think if that's the best way to go about it. I don't really want to give up. I'm not the sort to give up. So just keep making mistakes and trying to correct them.
And learn from them, yeah. Be happy days. What is
I've actually
crack?
got a little trick I can do. Hang on, let me get my mouse working. I can show the guys my...
I was about to ask, what are you working on? I'm working on my big make with Shock Attack on here for our army lists. My army list changed, by the way. But
there you
give
go.
us a look.
Change my camera, see, so you can actually see into my little bits box there.
Hold on. There's this bits box. We could do a Dread Waaagh close up cam. Yeah.
And this is tank buster bits and bobs. So I was going to maybe make a tank buster or something while we're chatting. That's what I was thinking.
Ooh, I'm like, I see like commando bits. What's the bits in beside the commandos? They look like engine thrusters or something. That quad part.
These.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, that bit there.
Yeah. Oh no, actually, it was off of a rocket thing.
A rocket.
It's a rocket.
I was like,
thing.
where's
I
that?
can't remember it. Burst cannon or something like that. I don't know. Something Space Marine-y.
Ah, well, all right. No wonder.
I think these rockets go with it too. Yeah, I think they do. Or maybe they go there. Yeah, they go. Oh, I can't remember. Don't know. It's just loot, and it's just stuff. It's all stuff when it's in the hands of an orc.
This is it. It's all potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I don't see any parts. Like, I know some of you guys are really, really very particular about old parts, new parts, blah blah. But like, I've got like old metal bodies mixed in with these, because everything's got to be used at some point, and like, I like to mix and match. So
This is true, but it's always I'd like a motor in another bits box. You know what I mean? When it's well organised, it's just sort of.
Oh, well, this is just tank bustery bits. That's all this is. So this is
This is
just bit
just
by
the.
bit.
This isn't
Yeah,
the whole thing. It's just a few tidbits of
yeah,
it.
yeah. The more uh, bits boxes would be those ones there.
Jesus.
That'd be the main bits boxes as such. I say main bits boxes because they're just figures. They're mostly just figures. There is a can in that one pushed in the tank busters one because all the tank busters are divided out like this, but the vehicles and everything is in boxes up above. All the vehicle bits and bobs
Very
and all the.
organised I would have thought there would have been a bit more chaos, but you're very organised there. It's like Jesus, not only is everything sorted, but everything's labelled.
It is like yeah.
My God.
I got myself one of those label gun things from Amazon. I actually had one before, and I got some more labels for it. So I was like, right, okay, I'll have a whirl. And then it broke, so I ordered a new one off Amazon and a bunch more labels. And I only got like through one roll, the one that was preloaded. Funny enough, got through that, made some labels. Got onto the second one, I made 2 or 3 labels, and then it started doubling the letters over each other and messing about and acting like a bad one, so I had to throw it at a wall. So it don't work now. So I managed to get all of them done at least before it got through at a wall, all except for one.
So it definitely doesn't work now, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't work now. I've got some labels for it though. If anyone's got a worky one,
It's like I could hook you up. Yeah, no, it's. I
or
think
if anyone needs some labels because they've got a worky one, I can hook you up.
you can sort them out. It's a lot easier. It's like even what you're saying. It's a lot easier to work in an area that you've organised. I've been doing that myself with my desk because it's just been an absolute mess of bits that have accumulated over the past year. Whatever, I've slowly been dropping stuff on the desk and then not bothering to clean it up. You know what I mean? So it's.
I find whenever that happens with me, whenever the desk becomes
Too cluttered
with stuff, I can't really work. I think I can, but I can't because I'm not sure where this is, that is, and it's the same way as if my house is messy. When I'm trying to sit down and work here, I just can't. I can't sit and work knowing that there's like a stack of dishes over there and there's this to put away, that to put away, that needs to go there, that needs to go. I've got to have it done, so then I can concentrate on something else.
So yeah, it's like your mind gets cluttered with the mess, kind of.
So as a consequence, my girlfriend's very lucky. She was always walking into a tidy house here.
It's counting her lucky stars over there. I'm sure she's shaking her head at you.
No, she's not.
She's got earphones in. I can get away with murder here. It's like, it was nice knowing you, mate. It was nice knowing you. Till she washes it back.
She's just pretending.
This is it. Right, so you're working on tank busters. What's everybody else working on? I'm trying to just put like base metal colours.
See what they're saying. I'll have a look on the messaging as well. See.
You have a gander. I've no idea what colours I'm doing this guy. I'm just sort of like haphazardly. Well,
cool, Mostly Zen says
Mostly
there's a
metal.
prize. I should have read above and below maybe first, but the first message I see says there's a prize for best looking knob and most impressive knob. I'm there, baby.
Well, there's no prizes for last place, Dread, I'm afraid. Oh, God. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Right, where's the smaller detail brushes?
No, it's one of my past jobs as a penis model.
Well, if I was monetized, demonetized, but, we're all good in the hood.
So, there you go. This is not a good lamp. I'll keep knocking made on it.
Cracking your head off your lamp.
It takes me so long to decide what I'm actually going to use.
What bits you're perusing?
Yes, I'm not sure what I want to sacrifice to
the construction gods.
Yeah. I think one of these bodies would be cool.
Steve-O's converting some sort of orc tank. Slev is just varnishing a unit of Bonebreaker boys posted to the community Facebook when face ache stops spattering up. You could also post to the Discord work in progress. We have a Luke I'll create an invite if I invite people. There we go. You can post up your work in progress that you're working on during the stream. It doesn't matter if it's not orky, it's just showed up there. Whatever you're working on, and we'll have a peruse if you want to share. If you don't want to share, that's okay as well. It's always fun to see what other people are working on.
Sharing's caring.
Sharing is indeed caring. What a mess. That's one of the things I've learned, Dread, about like doing a hobby hangouts is you don't do fine detail work on a hangout. It just
No, that's why I was perusing for ages as to what I was going to do, and I was like, you know, I'm just going to build something fresh because fiddling around with a model I already care about is probably the wrong thing to do right now. I was like, I'll do some painting. That's what I do. I'll do the metallics and this and that. What if it splashes? What then if you need to panic and get this out, that out, and clean it and blah blah? I was like, no, you don't want to be doing that. It's just, no.
No, I get you. It's like base colors are fine. I think that's why people see me doing mostly like metals and base colors. But you know that moment where it's sort of you need to concentrate, so you really sort of focus, and then your brain doesn't like talking when you're in that zone. Yeah. Reverend Dak is saying still working on my Cromlech half track Scorcher. Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, nice. I got one of those.
Steve-O's still going while he's waiting for the wash to dry on his big Mac. Did you see his army there? Steve-O's army.
Yeah,
I was
okay, so I did indeed.
well impressed.
Anybody else I expect they did.
Looks well impressive, so it does. I was like, oh Jesus, fair play to him. And Captain Slow was the first one to finish, so I'm like, oh, we'll never hear the end of that.
Yeah.
And he, you know, he's getting the knife in now. It's like, well, who's going to be last, lads? I'm like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Aye.
Who's going to be last place? Well, I don't think it's going to be me, but I don't know. You might be pulling a blinder out there, Dread. You know, how much progress have you got? You're very mysterious in this.
No,
you know?
I haven't been mysterious because I have got little to report.
So is it, who do we reckon it's going to be between? Is it, you know, you, me, and Dim? Who do you reckon is going to be the last one out of the three of us?
Probably me. Probably will be me. Although I don't think it'll be too bad. Yeah, I don't know.
What's holding you up? What's holding you up? What's the blockage? Because like I get like that as well. Some things will hold me up for a while, or I'll get distracted by other things. Like BattleTech is distracting me a lot, but I'm not painting them. I am actually painting what's in my army list at the moment.
I just didn't get any further with painting because I put all the painting stuff away for the desk so I could actually build the computer and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I had sort of said to myself, all right, well, I'm getting a new spray booth, so I got rid of the spray booth as well. So I had nowhere where I was airbrushing either. So I was, you know, just put them in the cabinet and haven't touched them for a while. So I've just got to get them out and actually crack on with them. That's all it is. I've only literally today, finished setting the desk up. So, you know, I'm literally just back today in time for your show. So I didn't have doing any hobby since a long while until right now.
Oh, all right. I feel privileged now. It's like he puts the effort in for me. Oh, bless.
I put the effort in for you, yeah.
But it's good though, you know. At least you've got it to that stage that it's organised. But I can relate to that quite a lot. I really can.
I was getting to that stage of being sort of like ready, and I was like, well, I've just got to take that leap. And I'd sort of planned. I've got a few bits of episodes from building the PC and reviewing this DoCam and stuff from before. Little bits of video that I'd taken off my phone from projects I didn't finish, and I stuck them on the hard drive and I couldn't access them for ages. And I put them all together into a show, and I was going to probably release that, I'm hoping, sort of around the very beginning of December, so I can put another one out sort of around Christmas time. So
these are provisional dates, folks. Don't be locking them in now. You know what I mean? These are very sort of provisional timelines, but you know, life has a tendency to throw a spanner in the works for us.
Yeah, I'm fairly organised for Christmas though. I've got
this year's been weird, man. I think I've nearly got like all my Christmas shopping done already as well, and it's November's not even open over. It's like Jesus.
I don't generally usually do Christmas presents that much anymore anyway, but I've got stuff for my girlfriend, of course, and then I've got my best mate, just people that are going to be I've got a small present for everyone that like lives on my little community place as well. So yeah, just a little something, handmade and all that.
Oh, the personal touch. Look at 'em. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Look at them.
I'm organised in the sense I've got a lot of the food in as well ready for Christmas, and
Already? Oh, my God.
got the place kind of decorated too. It's looking nice.
I think we're at that stage now where people are getting the Christmas tree down and putting it up, and I think this year as well, a lot of folk are happy enough to put it up a little bit earlier.
Yeah, you feel
Try
like you
and
need it this year a little bit.
yeah, I think a lot of us need it this year.
Yeah.
When people are fun, I think this year of all of those memes that you see every New Year's where it's like thank fuck, 2020 is over. I think this year definitely is one of those. 2020 can go fuck off. I think we've all had enough of 2020 at this stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been an absolute clusterfuck. Right, so I'm saying I won't do detail work on you. I keep doing detail work. I've no idea what colour to do a short.
I won't go with that.
Will I do like a green? I might do a green.
Some boys' legs.
Or do some bronze. Or do that other wire red. I'm just picking out random details at this point and just having a crack. Slav's put up some images in the Discord. Nice. We're seeing a few work in progress images in the Discord. Looking good, lads. Looking good. For anyone who's just jumped in, I'll show it in again there. There's the link for the Discord for sharing the old work in progresses. If you're painting along and doing the hobby with us, throw it in there. We normally look at, around the last 20 minutes. We normally do about 2 hours. Long old suck. I find it funny the hobby hangouts, how they started off as it was me by myself doing an hour, and then it sort of mutated into, oh, why don't you get somebody else on as well? I'm like, all right, grand, no bother. And then they sort of turn into 2 hours, and then people are like, oh, why don't you look at other people's work as well? And I'm like, yeah, grand. If that's what we want to do, go for it. It just sort of look, it just you go with the flow, man. It just sort of
the format's nice now, though. I like it.
Yeah, it's taking a life of its own.
Not making too much noise.
That unmistakable sound of someone rummaging through a bits box kind of reminds me of my yeah, but it reminds me of my childhood a bit, because it's not quite the same, but it's kind of like a good Lego box rummage. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah, man.
Oh.
A good Lego box rummage where you'd go looking for the good bits at the bottom. All the little small.
Yeah.
They'd always.
Yeah, I was only saying to the girlfriend when she was saying, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" And I was like, "Just give me a box of boys or something like that, or an orc truck before they disappear."
You take that back. How dare you, sir? Don't you say such a thing on this channel? How dare you?
For me, it was just sort of like, look. I went on to explain, for me, Christmas, I'm not all that fussed. It's like I actually really enjoy the sort of all the excitement of doing something for other people and that. But if I'm gonna get something, the only thing, well, there's plenty of things I like, but something I do get properly excited for, like a big kid, is when I get some orcs, and it used to be when I was a kid, Lego. Forget anything else that I was given at Christmas. I know I had some nice things throughout the years, but I always remember the Lego sets I got, Yeah. Never forget them,
Oh yeah, there's this, because I could tell you the first Lego set I ever got as a kid. I think I was 4. I must have been 4. I was 3 or 4. I used to play with Lego at a really young age.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first set that was bought for me was by my uncle on my stepfather's side of the family, his brother, because they always had a Lego box up in their house. I can remember going to my grandmother's as a kid, and we always played Lego, and we played with Lego with my uncle on, and we were always you always building something there. So he sorted me out with my first Lego kit, and I remember it was like a Lego CE Police, and it was like a small aircraft and a speedboat, and it would have been what was 4? So it was about 1992. 92, 93, sort of around there.
Yeah.
It was 4 or 5. It was pretty young. But I can remember like we lived in a specific place. It was somewhere between the ages of like 3, 4, and 5. But I do remember playing with Lego at a really young age, and people being sort of amazed that I couldn't do. I had this weird habit with Lego. If I was building something, and say I was building a square, if I used a 4-piece block that was blue on one side, I had to use a 4-piece block that was blue on the right side. I couldn't
Oh, yeah.
do, I couldn't do mismatched colors. I couldn't. It
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it,
Symmetry yeah.
yeah. I don't know what it was. It was
I
just,
do the same way. I had loads and loads and loads of castle Lego, and I had decided to build like a proper historically accurate sort of large castle with a big keep, based on sort of Rochester Castle in Kent, if anybody knows it. I did a big large keep, and I used all my grey for that, all my grey blocks and all my grey castle pieces and everything for the keep, and I made it super cool. You could actually, it was hinged, and you could open it up and you could see the different floors and different rooms and stuff. And when that was closed, that sat, and then I built walls around it, and it had the 4 corner walls. It had a gatehouse, and then it had 2 smaller buildings along the sort of middles of the walls. One of them being like a windmill with a working mill that had a thing going down into a grind bucket and everything. Like I was like a proper like making historical accurate as much as I could out of Lego. I had like all the pirate ships, but then I'd try and make like more realistic looking pirate ships and stuff like that, you know. And have battles and stuff, you know. But yeah, I ended up running out of all the grey bricks on this castle keep, so I ended up having to have black walls and everything, all the rest of it in black, and that forever bothered me. That's why I didn't like enter into any competition or anything. I was like, yeah, I would if it was proper.
if it
like
was
if it was
grey.
all grey or all black, fine. But nah, no.
Your own worst critic. Yeah.
Is what it shows.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, no, I am my own worst critic for sure.
I'm trying to think if there's anything specifically like the different kits that I get. I used to get different sets as a kid, so it was like birthdays and Christmas. You might get a big set or a medium sized set.
Yeah.
You know, I can remember the first sort of Christmas that I got Lego. It was like a pirate ship. It was a small pirate ship. I remember a pirate ship, and there was like a little sort of base for the Lego pirate stuff from the 90s. Would have been like a little sort of
little island with a little crow's nest on it and a monkey and a parrot and a palm tree.
Not quite. They would have been the smaller kits. It was I think like the 20 or 30 quid kits, where it was like like a little base for the a little bastion for the guys with the muskets. I don't even know what the factions were called, but they had a cannon. Oh man, I used to love the cannons where you'd be plinking.
That was so cool.
You were plinking the spring-loaded bits at each other.
Those little cannonballs, though, they're so useful as building parts. They're so good.
As building blocks in and of themselves, and you'd have your little stack of them beside the cannon. And yeah, man, it was great crack, good times.
Yeah, absolutely loved it.
Good nostalgia.
I had a couple of the Admiralty ships and a couple of the pirate ships. The big pirate ship, the biggest one they ever did was the one that was my biggest main Christmas present I ever had. The one that I probably still rate as the best Christmas present I ever had all the time. Loved that Christmas. I got that Christmas. It was the one with the red and white striped sails, and it had, I think, 3 rows of sails. It was huge. Like
I think that was the one I asked for, but I must have got like because that one would have been like the front end of it, the back end, and then it had like a few middle sections.
Yeah, good few middle sections.
Yeah, the whole
like a whole row of cannons, you know, like 6 or 8 cannons on each side, you know.
So I think I was looking for that one off of Santa Claus, but I got a smaller one. I got the ship that was literally like the rear section of that and the front section, and that was the ship, like. And then it had like.
I think I got that though, because you know them cheap little sets. You know, like I think the Christmas before, my parents had told everybody, look, he loves Lego, as you know, it's still Lego, you know. So people gone out and they'd all bought me the same set. Like I think one Christmas I opened like 5 or 6 of the exact same set, and nobody had communicated. So I think they'd all just put their money in together and got me this big thing this time around, rather, you know. So.
Coordinated, nice. Yeah. Good times, man. And that's the thing with Lego. Like, even to this day, you could crack out your bucket and
I've still got it.
have fun. Exactly.
I've still got it. Yeah.
Exactly.
I couldn't part with it. I couldn't do it.
No. There'd be
I-
more there. There'd be more there in their household. I know it's still in my mother's attic, but there's talk of bringing it down and, you know, letting grandkids play with it. I'm like, you leave that bleeding bucket alone.
Yeah, no, I'm saving mine for when I've got kids myself. But I left it actually when I moved over here to Ireland. I left it in my dad's shed over in the UK, and shed's got broken into, and I lost quite a bit of it. But I've got most of it. So.
Well, at least you still have most of it. There is that. I'm still
Okay. I
fond of
can't
it.
hear you now.
You can't hear me. What did you do?
Brilliant. What happened there?
Uh-oh. You
Just
broke
2
something.
seconds.
What did you touch?
Oh, okay.
He's like a gremlin, this
Speaker.
Dread, I'll tell you.
Sorry, dude.
Breaking stuff.
Oh, fuck.
What did you do? Sounds like your Bluetooth disconnected from your speaker. That's what it sounds like he's done.
Right,
So he's,
bear with me, peoples.
when he's having audio
You
fun
hear
over
me, but
there,
I can't hear you.
we'll go into the comment section and have a gander.
Right, speaker just went off and on.
So, what have people been chatting about? Dave was saying, orc trucks are hard to find now. I went to buy some in my capital on Saturday and they went weird out. Also, nothing in Element Games. Oh, weird. The Big Mix says, I'm collecting the Metal Gorka Walker Gretchen at the moment. I actually have a few of them. I think I have a few of them to hand. Do I?
Come on.
I do, actually. The Metal
That
Gorka
didn't
Walker.
work.
They're good crack. How about now? Is it working for you
There
now,
we go.
Dread?
Now I can hear now, yeah.
We're back in business.
Just the, I think the laptop upstairs connected to my speaker. Momentary.
Yeah, it's grand. It's not the end of the world. We were talking about the people are in the comment section looking to collect Metal Gorka Walker Gretchens.
Oh
and
yes, I've got a
just-
few of those.
Yeah, I have a couple myself. I've got a couple of them myself. They're good miniatures, man. They really are. The sculpts are really nice.
Yeah, and they tie in so well with the well, they made the plastic ones that followed them tie in so well.
Do you know what? I actually think these old metal ones are full of more character and detail. They're a lot
little bit, yeah.
crisper. You know what I mean? They're just they
Yeah.
have a really nice aesthetic to them. They're just nice miniatures. They really are nice. I reckon they're my favorite Gretchen miniatures. Are these Gorka Morka era metal ones? They're
Yeah.
really nice. You know, and I
They
need
are.
to do. I have the banner waver here, and I really need to sort of do a decent banner for him. But I was a sneaky git. I was like, you know, Gretchen, Rebel Grok Gretchen. I can have Rebel Grok Gretchen in my army, and I can also still use them as Rebel Grok Gretchen for Gorka Morka. You know what I mean? Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
You showing us a close cam there, Dread? We'll have a gander at the worktop.
I'm just working on the these are the bits I'm probably going to use for this. So I've got a head from somewhere, body from neck from somewhere. Third parties. Not quite sure which.
This is it. Well, yeah, you tend to go gung ho for the Tom Party stuff, and fair play to you, like.
I do, yeah.
And then you just sort of, what do? You just sort of sort the bits out as in what they are, not by manufacturer, sort of. Is it by?
Yeah, what I fancy them for as well. Sometimes I buy a set. I bought a set from Max Mini. Actually, that's where that head's from. The head is from Max Mini. It was a set of looters. They're supposed to be looters, but they come with two special weapons at each rather than like one. So, for example, one of them would come with two arms like this, and I'm like, well, that is a bit overkill for a looter to have sort of two. So I reduced it down. So then, if you're only using one, then you've got another one to use elsewhere. And then I was like, well, some of the guys actually don't look particularly like looters. They look more like tank busters, or they look more like this or more like that. So I just broke them into different drawers that are for different things for the idea that I felt suited it best. So when I go in that drawer and I go, oh yeah, mechs. I think one of them ended up in the mechs. Yeah, so I've got an idea for a mech. One of their bodies, I've already stuck the head on it. That's one of the bodies for one of those guys too. And I was thinking of sort of a Professor Xavier sort of, X-Men style mech.
Yeah, I get you. Roxy the Riveter did a really
In
nice.
the mech drawer, even though that was a Luta legs, but that's what I've put in because that's what I was thinking.
Nice. Yeah. No, I get you. I'm sort of a bit of a stickler for trying to build at least one kit the way it's supposed to be built. You know what I mean? I've always sort of tied into that sort of thing, which is stifling for creativity. But like, for future reference, it's like, oh well, this is what the miniature originally looked like. But then that way lies madness because you're wanting two of everything nearly.
Yeah, and I've got the codex for that. I can show people in the book. Just be like, look, this is the models, and this is what I did with them. Look in my cabinet. But,
This is it.
I can't afford to buy them twice. It's not that.
No, I think those days are over. I think Skarnir's personal Orky museum days are over at this point. It's I think it was when I was in love with a lot of the sculpts. And don't get me wrong, I think some of the sculpts are still really nice. They don't have that same sort of draw to me. A lot of them, like this guy here, this big mech is nice. I like this. This is one of the newer sculpts that I like. But some of them they're a bit naff. Like the Pain Boy, I'm not too pleased with.
No, never liked the Pain Boy.
Some stuff could deal with a.
It looks like he's sucking a sour lemon. That's why.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a face on him, alright. He does look a bit odd. So he does. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the proportions or.
I'll tell you what it is. He looks like an orc shop mannequin. So he looks like a life-size mannequin. So you could use that miniature and put it you could build yourself a little orc shop frontage, and you could stand him in the window wearing a dress and holding up a handbag, right? And he'd look perfect because he looks fake,
Oh yeah. I get you. It's I think the problem a lot of that problem has to do with the 3D sculpting. I think it's the lack of texture on the sculpts.
Just everything about the way that miniature is designed is like it looks like a sculpture. It looks like the things are made to hold the things up. Rather than it actually being a fluid movement of a living creature. It's like been carved. It looks obviously that way to me. I've never really liked it at all.
You much prefer the older one, do you?
Oh yeah, that's the reason I'm always trying to give them away whenever I buy a box set. I'm like,
well, yeah, kind of. It didn't help that it came in like the beginner box set. Definitely. So if you bought multiples, you ended up with a load of Pain Boys that people were like, "What's going on here?" Which I thought was pretty funny because I think I did I do a giveaway before they decided to? I think I did a Pain Boy giveaway myself back in the day as well.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what because they're redoing all the beginner box sets, aren't they? They're doing codexes and beginner box sets for all the factions. They're doing new ones, so I'd be interested to see what they do for the orcs. Even though I don't need to buy one, it's always nice to see what they do. You know what I mean?
I think just as I've, let myself stop being right on the cusp of caring so much, that I'm going to be really pleasantly surprised, hopefully, with a whole bunch of new kits and stuff coming out. I think that could very well happen. So, I've got it's not just because I'm coming back myself, but I've got quite a positive feeling about hobby at the moment. I just feel like, okay, we've gone through some blah blah blah, but it looks to me like soon we're going to get some love. There's been some leaks. There's potential.
This is true. Steve-O keeps banging on about the stuff.
Yeah. And they can't get it wrong forever. I mean, at the end of the day, they can't always get it wrong. So, surely they're saying it's going to really please us, just got to be optimistic and believe in it.
This is it.
Or really stupid and believe in it. Either way, just.
No, I'm not too sure about this green shirt, to be honest with you. What do you people think? It'd be helpful if I kept it on screen, like, you know what I mean? So people could actually see what it is. But I've been painting the big mech, and I've been doing a short in the sort of army green. But I think it looks better if... well, I haven't finished the skin, I suppose, so the tone will be different. The neck is more of the lighter tone. So, I don't know. I think I'll leave the short green for now, and we'll see. Definitely need some camo and whatever else. And we'll do the inside of his gob. That's what we'll do. That needs to be done. And then his teeth. We'll do his teeth as well. I like to do them Waaagh flesh in the mouth. What is happening in the comments section? I love that banana waver. Oh, banner waver. I thought he said banana waver. Dib says he loves the banner waver. Means using 25mm bases rather than 2001s though. Yeah, that's true. But I don't mind using the 25mm instead of the old school Gorka Morka ones. I'm not really much of a fan of the smaller Gorka Morka bases. Mostly because of stability. No, I can see the purpose of them, and I don't mind people using them in Gorka Morkas because they are valid bases. But it's more just I don't want to be painting up me nice metal miniature and then he's constantly going on his bleeding ear. You know what I mean? Constantly going on his ear. I just don't want to be doing that, to be honest with you.
No, I never like them bases. I use them just literally. I just fill in the little gap, and I use them as little bits of rockery.
Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are pretty much like little nodules of rock.
Yeah.
The big mech is saying the red gobble model is really cool but hard to get. The older one, thankfully I have one and I got it at a reasonable price. You can still get, like, if you keep your eye out on eBay for the old metal red gobbo, you can get it for about 25 quid in and around that ballpark figure, so it's not too crazy. It's the usual thing though. It's like you need to keep your eye out for it and just keep looking, and over time, this is the thing with eBay, over time you'll see, like, normally they go for about 25-30 quid. Some people ask for stupid money, but you know, you'd be grand. Have you found your red gobbo there, Dread? Is it hidden away?
I'm just looking for it.
Oh, alright, no bother. He'll dig it out. I know I have one somewhere, but it's where exactly I don't know. Oh, and the head honcho as well.
I'll have to change camera again.
So while he's mucking around with that, I'll show you the head honcho. So this is like the...
That's the new one. That's what I did with the new fella.
Give us a look then. Hold on. Boom. Boom. So that's the new one there. You give him an old chop and change.
So I just change the barrel a little bit and change that for grenade and switch the head to match with the jacket a little bit so he's a little bit Russian-y.
Nice.
And that's that one. And the old school one, I've given him Nasdreg's claw.
Jesus. Give him the old choppy changey.
He did get the old choppy chop.
He
But it sort of fits him kind of well, I think.
Yeah, it does. Did you take, like, is it just two fingers, or is it the full claw Nasdregs?
It is the claw. It is only a free claw. So, I just thought, yeah. I just saw it before. When it was actually the arm was on there, and I saw that sleeve, and I saw the sort of size of the sleeve, and I'd seen this claw, and I'd seen that joint on the claw before, and I thought it's too small for an orc. How about a grot? But then I was like, well, it'll have to be a special grot, you know. And then I saw that, and I thought, yeah, do you know, I know it's a naughty thing to do to go cutting up two iconic classic models, but
sacrilege. Your hobby, mate. Your hobby, your fun. This is it. Like, you know, why not? Yeah, no, it looks sweet. It's good. I'm surprised at how many, like, grot revolutionaries or grot guard armies people like to do. There's quite a few out there. It's I'm surprised, like, Games Workshop haven't done more to sort of exploit that.
It in a way.
Yeah, but I suppose it's very, like, niche within a niche, so I can understand logistically about it. But I do like me the old like, look at the character on that. That looks absolutely cracking, man. You know, I know it's a monopose miniature, but you're only ever gonna buy one of it. You know, we always
Yeah.
bitch and moan. It's like, this is how you do monopose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, yeah.
If you're gonna do it with a miniature that has so much character in it, such a lovely sculpt. You know, that's what I'd say, to be honest with you. If you're gonna be doing monopose, give me ones that are absolutely cracking looking, man.
Mint.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Right, so paint the inside of his gob and his tongue this dark green. I just grabbed a Big Mac Shock Attack one for 20 quid. Nice. Very nice.
eBay.
eBay would be good, that's what they're saying. Rivets and Dake said Black Reeds boys and knobs were easy to convert. They were plastic. There are advantages over different materials. I won't deny that. Plastic is this brush is way too big.
Oh, plastic is by far my favourite medium to be working with when it's modelling, you know.
It is, but I think we're still at the stage where with plastic sculpts, especially since they've gone over to like 3D sculpts. I still think we're at the stage where it's not as characterful as like metal sculpts used to be.
Well, that's only because of how they're sculpting them, though. It's not to do with the material; it's more to do with the sculpting, I think.
Yeah, but this is that's the problem I'm finding is the toss up between them. It's like either you're getting a good material to work with, such as plastic, that you can chop and change, and by all means try and get as much on plastic as possible, because you know it's just so
But not as much
easy.
effort went into that sculpt as it did for the metal ones at the time.
Yeah, I think that's an issue. Is you can kind of tell that there's not as much time put into them now as there used to be. The sort of turnaround time for the sculpts is a hell of a lot quicker. Which I can understand why, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, you know, I'd like the same level of detail in the old sculpts, but in plastic. You know what I mean? You know, the best of both worlds, I suppose. But you can't have it all. Can't have it all. Jill is saying she's got Mega Knobs to paint. Nice. I've a load of Mega Knobs as well that I got, because I bought like that Saga the Beast set 3 times, and I was like, oh look,
yeah.
9 Mega Knobs. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll put them away safely, and I'm like, I've no idea where I'd put them. I'm like, they're somewhere. They're somewhere. They'll crop up one day. You know what I mean? When I'm not looking for them months later. Like, oh yeah.
I think mine are still on sprue.
Oh no, mine are definitely still all on sprue. I think there was like knobs. So you got like a sprue of knobs, the Mega Knobs.
I've got full sprues up there, and I'm fairly sure that the everything from Saga the Beast just got cut small enough to go into the sprue box, and that's it. It's gone in there.
And got stored away. Yeah, pretty much did the same thing myself. It's like, oh, I splurged, and then it's like, meh.
Well, I know I'm going to want these, so.
Oh yeah, eventually down the line. It's like, you know, Mega Knobs will be handy no matter what. I have most of the Mega Knobs I have are the old metal ones. Back when they used to be 10 quid a pop. I think I remember buying them for like €10.50 each in a blister and thinking that was expensive. And then
it was. I remember thinking, geez, that's expensive.
Yeah, but that's
it's a good lump of metal, but geez, that is expensive.
They were expensive. This was the thing. But I think that made it interesting because you didn't see a lot of them on the battlefield. You know what I mean? Someone might have 3 or 4 of them, or, you know, that sort of thing. But I went for like 3 units of 3 because I remember back in 5th edition I was running them. 3 different battle wagons with 3 guys in each of them. So I had like 9 Mega Knobs, and you didn't really see that a lot. You know what I mean? And then I heard they were coming out with the plastics. I was like, oh, brilliant. It'll be cheaper, you know, plastic kits. And then it's like, what is it? It's like €50 or something. Oh, love it.
Yeah, I was the exact same way as yourself, though. I genuinely thought, well, this is going to make everything better because we get loads more for our money. Like, yeah.
And it's, you know, like, don't get me wrong, the Mega Knob kit is an absolutely cracking kit. I think it's really good.
It's brilliant, yeah.
I love it. I really do. I just think it's a tad overpriced for what it is, but that's me. That's just
no, you're right. It is
my
overpriced.
personal value on things. But that's the funny thing about like value for units and things that we buy. We
You
all
should get 4 or 5 for
Hmm.
the price it is. You should get 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think if it was a box set of 5 for like 50 quid, I think that'd be reasonable. You know what I mean? I think that'd
Yeah.
be really good. Yeah.
Mm.
But it's all down to value, and it's all like each individual will have different different perception of what is and is
I
not
think
valuable.
one thing we're certainly going to see with these with a new line of boys is something that we were seeing with the buggies that they came out with was more muscular orcs, or orcs with more muscles picked out, more rib muscles and underarm muscles and stuff like that. They're seeming more hulked than the Nelson orcs, Nelson orcs.
Yeah, I get you. More muscular,
A little bit more muscular, a little less
Got the
loafy.
muscularity.
Yeah. I
Uh,
like a good mix, though, 'cause I've got some third-party bodies, like the one I'm actually using at the moment. He's got like a good bit of muscularity, but then
where
I've
did
got a few that have got tubby bellies, and I like them too. I think they're great. The
I've
tubby belly
not,
ones.
but this is the thing though. That's the beauty about all this third party stuff is if you want a different look for your orcs, you can shop around. I've never liked the really tubby belly type unless they're like a super rich orc. In my eyes, they're not going to be a tubby belly git. You know what I mean? So I could understand like blood axes or not blood axes, bad mills. I could understand bad mills or maybe like Flash Kit, Freebooter, Pirates, that sort of type of stuff. Maybe them being potbelly type, but others, you know what I mean? I've always
I
envisioned
think,
orcs as being hungry, hungry for war, hungry for battle, always.
yeah. But then, how many sitting legs have you got for trucks and stuff like that? They're great for that, and bikers. That gets the extra bit of wheels or whatever. He ain't losing his legs so much, so he puts on a few extra pounds. He's still doing plenty.
He's
I've got a
sitting.
few fatty bellies on some mono wheels, because a lot of people use the mono wheels. I've got one with a 6-pack and that, but I've got a couple of them with fat bellies that are on mono wheels, and I think it looks great. It's like they've just got overweight where they're just going about on this big wheel and like bulging over it as well. That's cool.
That sounds, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, the mono wheels and everything. Like, I think I even have some of them stashed away that I bought years ago from Cromlech.
Yeah, there's some good ones. There's some really like there's a couple of people that do them now as well. I think War Game Exclusive, they do a good set of mono wheels as well. Some really good ones actually. Yeah, definitely. Dread recommends go and check out War Game Exclusives mono wheels for orcs. They're cool, very cool. I'm definitely going to get myself another set because they brought out more since I last got some. So,
Or where are they based? Just shipping wise for people. Wargaming
uh,
exclusive.
War Game Exclusive they are based in Poland. No, actually, no, they are based in what's it? Not Russia. Ukraine. That's where they're based.
Not Russia, the
Yeah.
Ukraine's like Jesus. Jesus, bud.
Over in that direction.
Over
Yeah,
yonder.
over east way. Yeah. No, I was thinking it was Poland, but it's not Poland. It's Ukraine. Yeah. They're very good though. I've really liked a lot of stuff I've had from them, and they've got some great standing models for other armies as well. Really sort of very, very, very close to DW stuff. So yeah, good source for people that like to sort of keep their Orcs Games Workshopy looking. They've got some good bits and bobs, particularly for Tau. Actually, the Tau bits are very good.
Oh, they do a good few tail bits today.
Yeah, they call them the greater good.
Nice.
Super
Big
cool.
Mick is saying I don't like the 6-packs and orcs as much. I prefer them looking more funky like. Funky? Yeah, funky. Yeah. You can get, yeah. And you like a good tubby belly dread, yeah.
Well, I like a mixture. I do like the strong, tough, 6-packy looking ones too, but I think fat belly and it's in the right situations fun too.
That's a
I,
bit of
I, I like,
character.
yeah, this is what I'm doing now. It's like finding a body and a head that work well together. Like sometimes an orc's head does look like he would be muscly, you know. So you put that with a muscly body, and other times he does look like a fat git before he's even got a body. You know, you can just tell by the face sometimes.
You're doing sort of like the pick and mix, mix and
Yeah.
match of orcs building. Is that what it is? That's
Yeah.
which ones will go with which bodies and.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time screaming heads like someone that's really given a rare goes good with like a six-packy body, you know. And this guy's he's got a six-pack. He's wearing shorts. He's got skinny enough legs too. So like it sort of fits.
All ties in together. You're sort of the narrative of what the head is saying to you. It's like, oh, you know, you look like you'd be on this type of body or this type of body or.
That's kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of what I do. See if it fits. See how it looks. See what I think. See if it looks unique and different.
Is that as well? I suppose with your use of third-party bits, you're going to have more variation than the majority
I
of
don't.
orc armies.
Unlike some people, I don't really like to have like a bunch of boys that all look the same. I know it helps with like being able to pick out squads and stuff, but I like each and every orc, every single orc is a different character, you know, and that way it's not boring painting boys and it's not boring painting anything because every single one of my miniatures is a unique miniature, so it's fun. Hopefully, it's
Get
also terrifying. Also
yeah.
terrifying. Oh, I don't want to ruin anything. I don't want to ruin anything.
Yeah, but there is, I suppose there is that aspect of it though. It's like I don't care because they're blood axes, so I don't mind if there's a bit of uniformity about them. Like the way I paint them, there's still a bit mix and match. But I specifically try and paint, like if there's 30 of them in the same mob, I'll try and repeat the same sort of colors across the mob. But one guy might have the green pants, the next guy might have the green short, and you
Yeah.
know the other one has a grey top, he'll have grey bottoms, then another one might have green bottoms and a green top, and the other, you know what I mean? It's like I'll use like usually 2 or 3 colours and tie that unit together, but it doesn't bother me if they're uniform, and I think that's sort of, I think it plays into the quantity of them that we have to paint. Like there's so many of them that we have to paint. It would just, I'd never get anything done if I was converting each into, like I would love if I sat down and put as much care and detail into each individual boy as you do. But at the end of the day, for me, they're 5 or 6 point minis or whatever points they decide them to be. And they're just, you know, they don't last long enough on the table where you're going to have a decent look at them, you know?
I should have really added that. For me, I decided a little while ago that I've got 2 armies in process. So I've got the one that I'm working on, which is my main cabinet army, the one that I will use it to play, but it'll mostly be display army. It's showing my love for conversion and trying my best with painting and stuff like that. So it's more of a showy army, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do intend, and it's a video project that I will do on the channel as well, is to do what I'll call a throwdown army. So I'm going to try and get my hands on loads of orcs, nice and cheap, loads of orc boys, probably an eBay job, batch job, maybe a load of Black Reach boys even, don't care. Just want to get a load of them, and I'm going to paint up squads of really quite simply tabletop painted orcs. Probably do them in the different clans as well, just for a bit of fun, just for a bit of crack. And just so I can do some sort of easy painting tutorials as well, because I don't want everything I'm doing always to be complex and stuff. You know, I want to have a bit of variety on the channel, because it is my hobby. It is me recording my hobby, but it is also me wanting to get other people interested. And I think you can, like I noticed it with computer stuff where I'm building a PC. I wanted to learn about PCs, and it's actually very difficult to get all the like not the basic, but more sort of the intermediary stuff. That because all of the popular channels, they're talking about all this stuff as if you would know what every single abbreviation they're saying means. And if you don't, you're having to pause the video. I was having to pause the video, look it up. What is he talking about there? Right, okay. Still doesn't make much sense to me, but right, okay, yeah. So it's difficult to follow them. And I've had people say to me about my own channel that aren't into the hobby, it's difficult to follow. Have you got anything more for beginners? You know, so like I do want to make sure I cover that and have more for the beginner and more sort of easy access stuff and things that people can enjoy without knowing everything about it. You know, but you have to tread careful because you don't have to explain every time you mention something what it is, because otherwise your regular viewers get bored too. So you know, sort of find a happy medium as such. So I think having a sort of playlist that's geared towards noobs and new people is the better way, rather than sort of like watering down the regular content into, you know, baby chunks.
Yeah, but you can always, like, it's the beauty of YouTube. You can always reference, like, if you do, like, I do eventually want to do like BattleTech beginner videos, even though there are some out there. I just want to do some myself that I'm happy with, and be like, if you know, I'm talking about BattleTech, this is what I'm talking about. Here's a video explaining what it is, or if you want to learn how to play, here's another one. You know, you can always refer back to your older videos as to what stuff is. But if you put in that sort of foundation of going through, I suppose it's advantageous for me at the moment because I'm kind of going through that process myself where I'm learning stuff. So I really should be making more videos in that regard, going, ooh, I've discovered this, and ooh, I've discovered that, and isn't this cool? And, you know, here's some tricks I've learned from veterans, you know, that type of thing.
Oh, Squid Boss is in the house.
Hey, Squig Boss.
Speaking of
hype man, the hype train. You know, I think that the hype train title firmly belongs in the grasp of Steve-O. Like nobody else drives that hype train like Steve-O does. There is no other. He's like, I've never seen someone so happy with the prospect of a tidbit of anything for orcs. It's like fair play.
I was fairly bloody excited too, and when I was watching his video, I was like, yeah, this shared experience. I was feeling the same way. It's like Christmassy. It's so like, oh my god,
you can't go to sleep. Yeah.
Show us for Christmas. If they don't show us by Christmas, I'll be a bit upset because they really should. Like that'll make my Christmas. All I want, I don't even actually want the miniature yet. I just want to see it, you know, properly see it, and just so I can have a look.
Give us a gander.
Give us a gander. I'll be happy. I really will. That'll make my Christmas.
Oh, slippity old paintbrush there. Messy. Jesus, that needs to be watered down more. I'm using these synthetic brushes I got with the Vallejo starter set, and they're alright. They're really small compared to a lot of the brushes that I've used. They're really small, but you know, they're nice. I like them.
I tend to use like synthetics for metals, metallics, and stuff like that, so I don't ruin my sable hair brushes on them.
Oh, I have some sable stuff, but normally I use it on character, so I should be using it on this guy. But it's just, I don't know. I'm wandering through the dark with this guy, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll put a bit of paint here, I'll put a bit of paint there. We'll see what happens. It's like, oh, I'd like to do this cable in yellow. All right, grand. We'll get some yellow out. We'll do some cable. We'll see how it goes.
I have a rocket and a rocket arm that I'm trying to glue together, but they're only touching by the very dearest little bit because this body is not the original body, so it doesn't quite fit around it very well. So it's going to need a lot of green stuff and all the rest. So just hoping that dries enough that I can work with it and it don't fall off.
Do you not have any accelerant?
I do, yeah. It's not super glued. It's the polystyrene cement between the hand joint at the moment, but it's just not fully. It's not the two flat bits together. It's just a corner of it really touching. So I'm hoping that will set enough.
All right.
Super glue under the arms and
fill in
get some green stuff up there and that.
You're kind of tack welding and then backfilling is kind of what you're up to. It's like, all right, that'll kind of hold until I get the rest of it sorted.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. I'll go on this and see who's saying what in the chat.
Exactly. Good man. Well, I try and muck around with this detail work. Should bring you on more often, Dread. Even helping with the comment section. Good man.
They're chatting amongst themselves, man. See.
Yeah. You leave him to.
Big Mech Dan Skull says he might have. He's checked out Gear Guts Mech Shop earlier. He may have to splash out on a certain group of war bosses.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I do have mine on the table here.
I've got somebody actually that's ordered one and they're painting it for me and they're going to send it to me as a gift.
Oh, bless,
You know.
but that doesn't count. No cheating you. Paint your
No,
own.
I'm not interested. Don't worry. I was going to work on it tonight, the converting of my war boss, but I was like, well, do you know, that's going to be, I'm going to want a pin, so I'm going to want a drill, and I don't want to drill.
Yeah, the noise levels. Go thinking,
Yeah.
Batman. Go thinking.
Yeah, it was the original plan was to work on the war boss tonight, but I was like, nah, I can't do that. And then I got out. The little planes, and I was like, oh, I might start carrying on with the paint on those, doing the metallics or something, or got a couple of grot tanks out as well. And I thought, oh, I might start painting those, but then I thought, you know, start painting, I've got to get this out, that out, and you know, like I say, if something goes wrong, I've got to then get something else out. I'll be feeling about like mad one, so just leave them aside.
Yeah, I was a bit indecisive myself as to what I wanted to work on tonight because I was mucking around with an old plastic dreadnought that has, Jesus, it's seen better days. So this is the first plastic dreadnought I've ever bought, and I think I bought them back in like 2007, 2008. Whenever this dreadnought first came out, that's when this guy is from. And he just, oh my God, he needs some TLC. So I've started doing work on the ground up. He's not even in my army list. I just sort of picked him up. I was like in the process of cleaning my desk, and I got distracted by doing some work on this guy. So like he's missing his left arm, that needs to be redone. I did have magnets in the torso sections because I used to magnetize the weapons, but I've ripped them out altogether. I've enough dreadnoughts that I don't really care at this stage.
Yeah.
But he needs work. He used to have a lower jaw there that broke off at some point. But I ripped one of the engine blocks off, and I decided to put like a fuel drum there. So I'll build up some bracing, I reckon, and then I'm gonna do a bit of pipe work here, and then I have a couple of these like green stuff tubes that I made with a green stuff tube maker, and we'll hook up. I'm thinking it'll look cool. Now I don't really care about the game meta. But I reckon if I do them up, so I've got this big ass fuel drum on the back of them, I'll do up like a split pipe here, and we'll have some like fuel coming down, and I'll do like a scorcher each side, because I thought that was like a really good concept, like this nice big fuel backpack, sort of like he has a backpack, and it's feeding into two scorches, and he's just burning the absolute snot out of everything. I thought that'd be really cool. And his arms, I don't know yet, but I want to do some plastic hard work on his legs. I cut off the spikes there because they were annoying me. I want to do some armor plating on his legs a bit, and maybe I'll do a bit of armor plating on the jaw. I don't know if I'll keep the head. I might remove that face plate because it's not very blood axe to me. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make him look more like a walking tank. Maybe I'll stick like a whip aerial. I don't know. I'm looking at concepts. I might want to put a bit of like a rolled up.
A captain's hat over that skull myself. I should
Yeah,
put a captain's hat over it.
I'm not really going for that sort of cartoony look with me orcs.
I know you're not. It was a metal captain's hat, I should say.
But it looks good.
But
Like
I put it on a can. I use that head on a can as it goes.
But if that's the aesthetic you're going for, like you can go for that sort of zany cartoony look. But this guy, I'm trying to get more of a, you know, walking tank vibe off of him. That sort of vibe. You know, it's just something I picked up again. I did redo his base. I had to rip off. I like doing this more sort of dynamic work, and I haven't decided if I want to keep the Chaos Space Marine arm on the base just as a little bit of extra fluff. But I used the texture paint off of Vallejo. This bit of the city fight was originally flat. It wasn't dynamic at all. It looked terrible. I've learned that over the years as well. If you cut these sort of things at angles and make it look like, making stuff look like it's half buried looks a hell of a lot more convincing than if you just plonk it flat on top of something. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It actually looks like it's part of it, and then putting in bits of gravel and stone in underneath to make it look like it's part of a building that's sort of collapsed in or around, because that's the sort of like the genesis of my army originally was that they were city fight orcs. They fought in cities. That's why I use grey a lot. This sort of grey, it's sort
Okay.
of their urban camouflage. I've always seen them fighting in sort of, because we always fight in cities. There's always a lot of rounds in like 40k
Yeah.
games, so I've always sort of envisioned that they're fighting in a city or city fighting of some form. So that's why I was incorporating bits like this, and trying to reposition the foot a bit to incorporate it.
Have you
'Cause
got any? Have you got any fluff for your orcs? Have you got any like story written for them or anything like that? Have you started?
I
Anything?
haven't
Any lore?
I haven't written down, but they're pretty much because I bought like a massive Battlefleet Gothic fleet. My concept behind them was that they weren't tied down as such. They're sort of, they control some territory, but they sort of they
Yeah.
pop into system. The whole thing with them in my mind was they control territory, so they pop into system. The planets pay tribute to them, sort of like weapons and armaments and stuff. So they might get imperial stuff off of planets they've taken over. Maybe they've enslaved the population so that, you know, they have to work. But mostly in my eyes, it's based off of the old lore where orcs would leave planets alone as long as they paid them.
Yeah.
And maybe if they were
Yeah.
bored and they had nothing else to do, that they then have to fight them. So my guys, I've always seen it as a fleet. It's a massive blood axe fleet that pops into system. And, you know, they'll send
Yeah.
guys off here, there, and everywhere as well, little raiding parties. And then, you know, it's sort of, yeah, tactical in that regard.
I like the sound of that. That sounds cool.
You know, if the Imperials try to crush them, that they disperse, and, you know, they'll turn into loads of little raiding parties.
I say that I hadn't done any hobby myself, but the only hobby I had done actually was creative writing. I had loads of, not post-it notes, but little. I use these little note paper things, and I had loads of these all filled out, all posted all around the monitor for character parts and plot ideas and stuff like this. So I've been cracking on with my lore at least, you know, because I had some
Nice.
really, yeah, I had some good ideas that just came to me just randomly when I weren't thinking about it, and I was like, oh, that's a story arc I really like, and I'm gonna shove that into my lore and do that, and I, you know, I can have some real fun with it. And so I thought, I started thinking, well, if I start writing it as if it's like TV episodes, you know, like I can maybe turn it into, like, if I write it like a script, you know, like, you know, this happens and then that happens on scene, and then this is said and that said, rather than writing it like a book or anything like that, then I could collaborate with someone, an artist, and get them to do, yeah, some cartoon for me, some drawing and everything, you know.
Sometimes I get concepts. So that was a concept for a Stampa gob I wanted to do, where it's like a maw that opens up and it's just full of Daka. So it was a Daka gob. Like, and then different things like that. I was going to, if you know, brain is not working. The gorillas. I was, you know, sometimes I'll sit down and I'll draw stuff. Like, so I did little. But this is on the. I'll show you here. Sorry for knocking the camera. This is on the inside of a carry case that I have for miniatures. So I do still, like. Sometimes I'll get an idea and I'll put it somewhere, and, you know, I'm sure I've little drawings of, you know, Daka jets and stuff. When I used to have the spare time and work, or if something comes to it, yeah, I think like little notes like that, they're great for
Yeah.
freezing something in time before it disappears out of your head altogether. That happens quite a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got loads of them. Just a quick flash on the old notice board. Look, I've got loads of them on there. Look, bloody loads of them, bits and bobs. Nothing special, just all old stuff. But I've got to renew it because it's still got a schedule on it from May.
Yeah, keep it up to date, man. But yeah, so the Dread, I think I think I've got like a rough concept of what I want to do with them. I think it's dynamic enough, and I've got enough of a narrative in my head of what I want them to be. So I know he's fighting in the city. I know we want them to have scorches now, even if it's not the best thing on the meta. I don't really care. I'm going more for a vibe with them. You know what I mean? I'm like, I have a visual narrative of what I want them to be, and sort of just go
More
with that.
important that it looks good than it performs well.
Yeah, well, this is it. this is it as well. You know what I mean? Or it's the other way
That's what
around.
we get.
Your newly painted miniature is nearly always the first ones that get like shut off the board, and but that's interesting. Like I like talking about that sort of thing and then thinking about it. Is it because you've invested yourself emotionally so much into those miniatures because you put so much time into painting them, and then you'll have like expectations that you're then projecting onto them, so that when they don't meet those expectations, you feel that that unit didn't perform the way you wanted to, rather than your expectations being based in reality. You know what I mean? I find that sort of thinking like interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm going to be when it comes to playing like with. Well, actually, I do. I know that I don't expect anything because years have taught me that orcs generally just have some fun. Like, don't expect anything. And I just think, the only thing I expect is my army to look good on the table. I don't care about how they perform. I'll laugh about that when it happens. It's fine. I'm not going to let it bother me and stress me out and make me go, oh, I hate this. This is awful. Like, it won't be like that. It'll just be like, whoa.
Well, yeah,
It's fun.
we have a couple of things going for us already. So we have one. You're going to be fighting other orcs. There isn't a game so far where I've played 40k against orcs and I haven't.
Enjoyed it.
I haven't not enjoyed. You know what I mean? Where I haven't had a good time. Like every time I've played against other orcs, it's always good crack. Oh, Spud's here. What's the story, bud? I've always enjoyed orc versus orc games because you know what you're up against, and it's always a visual spectacle. You know what I mean? Because no two orc armies are the same, and if you're really into one army and then you're playing against somebody else who plays that army, I like myself personally. I like how that other person, like seeing how somebody else plays the army and what units they'll use and their tactics and stuff like that. But their conversions, like it's just interesting to me to see how someone else, interacts with the miniatures. So it's always fun in my eyes. You know what I mean? And then I think sort of largely,
I think I'd probably treat each one like little pets.
yeah. This is it.
Leave Dave alone. He's all right.
You got to name each individual one and like paint the name on his base.
Yeah, you try to tell him. Look at him. Convince him he's dead.
I remember years ago in a Games Workshop seeing a guy, years and years and years ago, I was only a teenager, seeing a guy he was another teenager, I think he was only a couple of years older than me, who had an Imperial Guard army, and he had painted each individual guy. It was probably like 3rd or 4th edition, so the armies wouldn't have been that big, but each guy had a name. He named each individual Imperial Guardsman. It was so funny, man. It was so funny.
That's very me.
Yeah.
I thought about naming each and every one of the boys by someone in the community,
Yeah, there is that as well. There is that. I was starting to do that with some of the pilots for BattleTech, naming them after people.
You just killed mostly Zen.
I'm sure he'd be heartbroken about it. Absolutely.
Then you'll have all the viewers on your side when you play as well. They're like, well done, my characters are. I'm on Dread's side.
This is true, yeah. You also get to see the demise of your, who survives and who dies. That would be who falls in battle, who earns a glorious death, and who trips over and breaks their neck from their shoelace or something.
Yeah, give a little bit of extra commentary, wouldn't it, as well?
Yeah, I do like that when stuff like that's done. It's always kind of funny. Ties it in a bit more.
Oh, this glue, Jesus!
You having fun in games with it, eh? Don't forget, folks. Show your progress in Discord.
Great glue, but I don't know.
What are you using? Super glue or plastic glue, or what is
it? Super glue. It just always clogs in the nozzle.
That Bob Smith Industries stuff that you told me about, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It's good stuff. It always clogs in the nose.
What, the Bob Smith stuff, or?
Yeah.
I haven't had any problems. I actually quite like the nozzle because they're sort of like these cone shapes.
Yeah, well, mine's been trimmed down quite severely at this stage.
So even if it sort of sets a bit, the design of the cone is is pretty good. So like you might get a little bit of build up, but you can get the back of a blade and just scrape all that crap off. Like you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
yeah, they're pretty good in that regard. I do like them. They are cracking. Jesus, Spud's doing a bit of work as well. Fair play, Spud. Essex Boys is working on something. Oh, there's a lot of progression stuff being done. So we'll give it another 10 minutes probably, and we'll go over and look at the Discord work in progress, folks. So if you're working on something and you want to share it, don't forget to
If
throw
you want
it
to
into the
see it properly, Dwayne, you're gonna Scar, you're gonna have to change the image that you sharing me because what I've got is your
I'll switch the
YouTube
yeah.
YouTube studio screen at the moment.
Yeah, I'll switch it over. Don't worry, but we'll give it a the once over so you can have a gander as well. Don't want to be leaving you in the dark. I've learned that the hard way. It's like screen sharing with people. It's like, all right, you need to screen share so that they can interact and actually see what's going on. It's like that would be an idea. You know, kind of helps. I don't know. I need a bit of blue now. So I've got red. I've got yellow. I really should be doing yellow with green stripes for like earthing wires. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna green stuff, so I'm gonna have to get some green stuff out. Where is it? Got 2 boxes.
He says not to do fine detail work during the hobby hangout, and then he starts doing detail work.
Underarm stuff, you know, padding. It's
a bit of
structural green stuff.
Oh, the nice. Oh, do you know what I love? The best trick ever when you're doing green stuff in an arm swaps, and when it doesn't work properly, you just stick a bleeding shoulder pad over the connection. You know what I mean? And it hides all crimes. I really love that about orcs.
Yeah, but you know that's kind of it's such a well-known thing if you collect orcs that you kind of look at someone's model when it's got a shoulder pad on. You're like, what are they hiding?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
What crimes have you hidden under said shoulder pad? I know what you're up to here, bud. I'm wise to this game. Yeah, but it's good.
There is there.
You're not too happy with the shoulder connection. You just budge an old shoulder pad over it, and happy days. And then if someone's scrutinizing your miniatures by picking them up and turning them upside down, you're like, really, really? Come on now. That'd be so funny, man. Have you ever had issues with people picking up your stuff? Because I haven't really experienced it. Because I don't really play with a lot of painted miniatures. Or I haven't in the past previously. No. I haven't had issues with people picking stuff up, but I've heard some horror stories. Like,
well, only a certain friend in a certain jovial way just to piss me off.
What, broke it intentionally?
No, not broken. No, just pick stuff up and go, well, that's shit.
Yeah, I get you. Just to wind you up. Just to get the goal up.
That'd be Cruiser. He's a very his way of encouraging me to do better was to say everything I'm doing is shite.
The tough love routine. I like it.
Yeah, very much so.
Hey, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, yeah. Take up a different tact at that stage. This paintbrush is way too small for what I'm doing. And I'm hoping that a wash will just hide most of my crimes against humanity when it comes to cabling. I mean, I could do hazard cabling, but like, Jesus, that's going to be a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be an awful lot of work. It'll look mint, but boy Christ. And I've learned my lessons the hard way, Dread. It's like, I took one look at this big man with shock attacking and I was like, sub-assemblies. I am in my Swiss going to glue this thing together and then try and paint it. There's no way that's going to happen. Sub-assemblies or it's not happening.
Yeah, sub-assemblies for me don't happen very often, really. Cause
yeah, because you like to build, don't you? Yeah. And it's the same here.
I'm like, geez, I've got everything built now. It's going to be a sod to paint, you know. So I think about that afterwards because, you know, thinking about it in the process is a bit stifling to creativity for me.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. I find the same thing. It's the problem with all those new buggies that I had is the fact that their sub-assemblies meant that they didn't get fully built. So then they don't get played, they don't get used, and they sit in a box half built in sub assemblies, and I don't get around to paint them. It sort of stifles it for me because I always liked building them and then playing with them as soon as possible. So once that sort of routine got interrupted, I was finding I wasn't using miniatures as much if they were in sub assemblies.
I got to a stage of partly converting them, so I started putting an engine in Squid Buggy and messing about a bit and changing it up and changing the wheels and stuff. But then, yeah, I didn't get any further with it, and I did come to that stage of realizing, oh, I want a lot of work on it, and then it's going to be a pain to paint, and I'll do something else for now.
Yeah, you get sort of drawn to something else and see what happens with it. Just throwing some base coats together, and then the problem I have as well is I need to sort of keep things together, because otherwise they'll go in disparate places. I've that many bits and pieces and projects. I don't want like bits off of a Dread that I was building wandering off into the bits box, and then one day I'm rummaging in the bits box and I'm going, ooh, that'll be useful. Yeah. I could use this for a conversion, and it's like just get the project finished.
Too many bits that are like broken bits or bits that were from a kit or whatever that I intended to put back, and they all ended up. I had a little box under here that I just kept putting all the loose little bits in. Or there's a head that goes in the head drawer, but I'm not going up there now, so I just put that there, and it just ended up accumulating a load of bits and bobs. And by the time I come to empty it, I didn't know what half it was. I was like, oh, what's that go to? Oh, that's a part that I can't remember what. So now it's still got bits in it because it's the I don't know where it goes bits.
Yeah. The last bits box.
Yeah, lost and found sort of box. Yeah.
This is it. We have Kobe Taylor was
bobs and resin kits and stuff. I've got a few bits and bobs that I'm sort of like, well, really don't know what that is or what it's for.
Yeah, there's that many of them. So in the comment section, I'm laughing here. Kobe Taylor is saying, nervously looks at all my boys who are wearing shoulder pads. Do they have like super dynamic arm poses? It's like, buds together, mate. Bush, it works. Yeah. Right. I think it's time. It's 35 minutes. 22:35 by my clock. Let's have a gander, folks. We go look over at the live stream work in progress. Keep posting images if you've got images. Oh, new images. Yeah. These are all new. Oh, there's a fair few. Jesus, happy days. Right, Dread. Let's see if we can have a look.
I'm currently looking at your YouTube studio.
All right. I'm doing a screen share here, so hold on. I'll do a click for the viewers.
Oh, yeah. I can see what the viewers see now. So,
boom. That should work.
Oh, yeah.
Happy days. Right, so.
I put this on Instagram just the other day. Geargut's new.
Yes, very nice. So Gearguts has got himself a new Dread. This is looking rather impressive, I have to say.
And very authentic. It fits with the current sort of Dread look really, really well. It's got the sort of same sort of bit around the top of the can, around the shoulders. Very similar to the stock model.
Sorry,
but different,
folks. I'll center the
like the legs. The legs are very cool.
They are, man. I was even saying it to him, like, to Kyle, that his work has improved. Like,
yeah,
leaps
I can really
and
see that thing. I can really see that thing sort of moving around, and it's just like it's just come to that sort of almost resting position where it's picking out another target or it's just scanning for something else.
Yeah, it does. Like the legs as well. The amount of work that's being put into the legs, and it's absolutely cracking looking. Nice. Very nice. I think he's using a different program now than he used to. I know he used to use
Tinkercad.
Tinkercad, that's the one, yeah. I know he was mucking around with Tinkercad for a very long time. I don't know if he's using Blender now or.
I think I thought he was using Tinkercad for the base like shapes and like like vehicular stuff, and then I think he was using the other one for like the skin textures and softer stuff. I thought, or rounded things.
Yeah, this is it. You might just be rendering it in something different, but even still, like the amount of technical work that's gone into the legs is impressive enough, I have to say.
Mhm. Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, that gripper that Skarnir has looks great. Gripper? Oh, the the claw looks cool. Most of his innocence. Coil News renders look awesome. He's gonna replace all the old images with these new ones. Ah, it must be like a new render of some sort as well, I reckon. But yeah, it's looking cracking, man. Absolutely cracking. Whoop.
Well, he's just showing showing GW up again, and it's like that. I can produce miniatures and I can update them.
Yeah. Like one guy is doing all of this. You know what I mean? It's you know, it's crazy. His work pace is absolutely crazy, but like,
Yeah,
they look cracking. I like how the eyes are up on the top of the torso on this one.
glad he's for our faction anyway. We need someone in our faction like that.
This is it. These images are new renders, he says. Ah, they're new renders. Right. They look amazing. Cracking work. Well done, Coil. Gar's working on his boss.
Oh, I've seen this on Instagram as well. So
Nice, Gar. I like it. And Gar uses like I've seen Gar's army in person. He's always like doing something with it. I've been watching this for a while, and it's impressive, man. He does a Blood Axe army, and he puts me to shame. He does, Gar. He's very inspiring. Good cracking work. I like looking at Gar's stuff because he still uses old bits as well because he's been around a while. So like for instance, that drum magazine. I know that's the wheel off of the Le Mans Rust battle tank. Do you remember when it used to be like wheels
oh yeah,
separate from
yeah.
tracks? But then he's also
What,
using
they
like
don't come separate anymore?
no, they don't, mate. You're mad. They stopped doing that like 10 years ago, longer. Yeah.
Oh,
Man, it's not as good as a kit as it used to be. They just don't
geez, I
make them
didn't know
like
that.
they used to.
Oh, I was unaware, totally unaware.
This is it.
Because I've got a load of those track wheels. I find them really, really useful.
The big maker saying he's got to get these. I think he must have been talking about Kyle stuff. We do have a bit of a lag, but yeah. Look at the war boss on this. I've seen quite a lot of folk using this sort of arm off of like Space Marine, Primaris, Dreadnought, whatever name it is, and it's a nice use of the backpack as well. I wonder what he's using for a power cable. Is it like guitar wire or is it like wire with like wire wrapped around it?
Yeah, it looks like a guitar wire, then it looks like one of the bigger strings.
It might be like bass string or something like that. Gar's still around. I'm loving the scale reference here. It's like his little ammo pouch is the ammo backpack for an orc boy. It's
Yeah.
like impressive. Absolutely impressive. Like, look at it, man. It's massive. But see what I mean when I was talking about like stuff being half buried? Like he doesn't just have it just sitting on top of the gravel, even the bit of terrain. It's sort of it looks like it's sitting into the base. It makes such a difference, man. Such a difference. And then this he's made it look like it's what are those American guns? Like not like an M16, but it's like an AR body. So another way they have that sort of like telescopic bit sticking out the back of it. Or not telescopic. Yeah, you know, the bit where you'd put like a shoulder piece.
Shoulder support sort of thing, man.
Yeah, nice. Just
Shoulder
finished
brace.
up by Warlord. Very little to do now. It's absolutely cracking work, Gar. I love it, man. I love it. Mostly Zen is saying in chat about a couple of coils things today. There's 25% off at the moment because of the sale. That's true, folks.
Black Friday sale.
Black Friday. We have Rivets and Daka is working on his Cromlech half tracks.
Oh, nice.
Nice work. Nice use of that Predator. I think is it like the Bal Predator? I don't know the variants anymore, but I know it's a Predator turret with like the big Uber flamer in it. Looks nice, man. And that old spotlight, you know, that really old spotlight from back in the day, where it was like off a Razorback, where they had like that spiky bits. But I like the, that's what I really like. See the tow cable hooks for like lifting
Oh
the
yeah.
plough. They look really
Mhm.
nice, man. That's a nice touch. I really like that. He's even built up a bit of superstructure here and
Mm.
a bit of choppy changey. Very nice. And he's done a bit of work on this one. Sweet, man. They're looking good. Looking forward to seeing them finished. Rivets. He's a mad mech when he gets started. He is. Yeah, nice. I really like that little the toe the lifting points. I don't know what their technical term is, but I know what they're for. They're for like lifting or towing or hoisting stuff. Yeah, they look sweet, man. They look sweet. Check out Prime Miniatures for cable hose fixings and stuff is what Rivets and Daca is saying. Ah, nice. Tom, he needs he just needs to be based.
From Dakar, I actually today got through the very last of those Yorkshire tea bags. So
We
there you
need to resupply it. Ah, here we go. Tom is doing some. That's some clean work right there, man. That looks nice. I like it.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely like it. Now, Steve-O would be absolutely horribly
Proper
disgusted with you for drinking Coke Zero. You know what I mean? He'd be shocked and appalled with you. But you know, your knob looks nice. There you go. How's that for a compliment? Is that the banner pole off of the Metal Orc Warboss? I'm thinking with the two tassels.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks something. Yeah, nice. He's doing some nice work on his knob. I like it. It's
Well,
very.
actually, it was from the metal knobs kit, wasn't it? Oh, I know. I've got a good 5 of those at least. I think.
I think
Something
that's
like
off the Warboss. I think that's either the one with the attack squig or the one with the what was it? Was it like a combi scorch and attack squig was one of them, and then the other one. So that was the two metal Warbosses, and one of them was pretty much a resculpt of the other. I reckon that's what
yeah.
that's off, and that's only because of the two tassels on it. Is how I
I think I
recognise
bought
it.
that one too many times.
I like how he's bothered to do like the ammo casing, the brass color, and then the actual slug parts in metal. That's a nice,
yeah.
that's a nice touch to detail, and then your little ammo belt. That's really nice. Visually, this is the part of the model I like the most. I know you've put a lot of detail elsewhere, but I really like that ammo belt fade. Really good attention to detail. Yeah, he's saying yeah, it's the metal banner. Rivets and Daka saying glad to oblige, Dread. I really share this. Is brilliant. Use the phone from now on. Look at the comments where we're looking at stuff. Slev is saying Bone Breaker Boys featuring knob legs and a boy head from 4 fin miniatures and a few leftover Spellcrow legs. This is what he's cracking on with. Very nice. Very nice. Filthy Death Skull blue. But you know, boo for your blue. But you know, fair play. Nice.
Blue.
Blue. Very nice, man. Cracking on. They do look, you know, I have to say the Orc Boys do look decent on 32s, but I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. It's not happening. Loving the 4 full knob legs, slightly taller than standard knobs, let alone boys knobs. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's sort of more kind of elongated. I get you.
They're nice.
I like that it's kind of dynamic as well. That sort of stepping on something instead of just being plonked down, like planted on the ground. Because the number one thing I really dislike about the knobs stuff that you get in the boys kit, which I think most of this is made up of. It looks like it's a good chunk of that. Yeah, it's just the legs are the same size as the boys, so you don't get that height. I like having a bit of height for the knobs in the unit, so you can visually differentiate them. You know what I mean? And I put them on 32s, but you know, the rest of them ain't happening.
He looks. If you put him on the boy's legs, he looks top heavy. He just looks wrong. Just don't look right. It wasn't designed for that, and they just thought it would do anyway. So, you know.
Angus Goodleaf has dropped in. What's the crack, Angus? We're looking at people's work in progress. We have 4 fun boys head. Yeah, with GW hair squig, just a little more chubby than GW, but fits nicely. So he's put the hair squig on the 4-1 boys. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like this face to me would say like you were talking about which ones would say like Tubby. He looks
Yeah.
like he should be on a Tubby git, in my eyes. Now that you've convinced me, Dread, I just yeah, I see what you mean. But yeah, I like it. Nice little conversions. The nice little touches I see of it. Look at this. Barrels, get drilling. Get them barrels drilled. Get cracking. But yeah, good work, man. Good work. Nice progress. Tom, he says, I think this guy's stone base needs some dry brushing, but he's basically done. Now you're just showing off.
Oh.
Give us a gander.
Oh,
Oh, very nice.
oh, that's the Cromlech's Waaagh banner, isn't it?
Well, banner. I don't know
That is
off the top of my
Cromlech
head.
one, yeah.
You'd probably know better at that stage.
I've got that, but I didn't do that with it. What did I do with it? I think I've got it around here somewhere.
You probably chopped something and stuck something else on and
I did go chopping it. I can't see it right now. Yeah, I went totally changing it though.
give it the old choppy changey as you do. Yeah, man, it looks nice. Looks nice. Very good work. Cracking work, lads. Steve-O, trying some ideas out while Big Mac dries. Ah.
Oh, I see what he's got.
So he's making himself like a gun wagon is what they were called back in the day. I see he managed to get his hands off of some stuff off of the green one while it was back making casting bits. Trev, lucky gits the luckiest. I'm telling you. Lucky gits. Looks good though. Why is he trying to make like a lifted dropper?
That might be it, yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of giving me like... Maybe, yeah. Super lifted dropper. We've got like this Necron bits with a couple of Dread jaws, and then he's blue tacked it all together. See, this is good thinking that. Bits of I like the way he's going, man. I like it. It's looking good.
See, I do like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just would love to convince him of magnets, because you could magnetize that turret, swap it out, change it as many times as you like. Then,
well, if it's a turret, you don't even have to magnetize it really. You could do like lug nut kind of connections, you know.
Oh yeah.
Where it just sort of slots in one bit and you twist it and then.
The old Lehman Russ turret.
Yeah. The Lehman. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like that. That looks cool, man.
They still do that. Do the Lehman Russ still do that, or is that gone as well?
No, they still have that sort of connection in them where you sort of it's offset when you put it in, and then when you put it on straight, it sort of connects.
Well, I've got a few things that I've built with that turret connection, so I kind of hope that they still do that because I wanted to get my hands on a few more.
Nice big mech with custom force field. Very nice.
Yeah. Whose is that?
Tidy. This is all still Steve-O. He's waiting for the washes to dry. So he was washing this kit.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's nice use of making it out of a knob as well. Like that looks like a Salt on Blackreach knob because of the arm. It's giving me that vibe. Then the head off the knob kit, and then the arm from the knob kit, and then using bits from like that's from this bit in Gubbins here. That's off of the Big Mech guns.
Paintbrush down now, can he see? He's got the buzz now.
This is it. He can't stop. There's no stopping him now. There's no stopping him, and he's having fun with his dry fit and his blue tack. Yeah, cracking, Steve-O. I think that's good. I think you're heading in a good direction. Just fill in those sides with a bit of plastic card and you'll be laughing. It looks good, man. It looks good. Beefy Cowboy's working on what looks like he can probably a Cadian sort of can. Mostly ends like mash that like button, boys, all in caps. Happy days. But yeah, it looks good, man. I'm liking the spotlight eyes and the gob. I've always liked that sort of those spotlights.
Oh yeah.
Cracking. He's got another one there as well. The tire for the leg. Yeah, nice. Characterful. I like it. I wonder what colour he's going to use for the as the base colour. I like that he's doing the metal technique that quite a few people do. I know Gearguts likes to do it as well, where he'll do it metal and then he'll stipple his yellows on over in like thin
Oh, yeah.
layers and build it up. It can look really nice.
Mm.
So I wonder what colours he's going to be doing them.
I think that looks good for the paint that you would assume that the orcs have applied. You know, like where they've just gone around and sloshed a bit on here and there. You know, it looks really good for sort of that, and for sort of. I've seen a few people using it for like terrain, that sort of style of stippling for terrain. So it just looks like someone went around and they sprayed the wall, tried to get, you know, as much colour on as they could, but they weren't, you know, being anal about it. You know, it looks good like that.
Yeah, definitely. Kobe is saying, so you like the idea of walker tanks. So these are my attempts at some grot walker tanks. And he plays badmillions. Well, then I suggest you go back and have a look at the hobby hangout I did with Kyle, where Kyle was painting. And he literally painted like a Dakajet during the whole
That was
thing.
a good episode. That was a good episode.
He stipples the absolute bejesus out of stuff, and it looks amazing. Essex Buzzed, shameless plug, working on his channel logo. It's looking good, man.
Very good.
Yeah, it is looking good, and it's made out of plastic out as well, so it's cracking. Like it's so crisp. It's Did you use a plotter cutter for it? I wonder if he used a plotter cutter. Either that or he's got a steady hand. But you can work wonders with them plotter cutters, I'm telling you.
I like that.
Cracking. And then Spudicus Ludicus. He's got himself one of them filthy tail vehicles, but he's giving it the once over. Good man. Good man.
He's got some orky shooters.
Got a couple of shooters here.
Is that grot riding it, or is that behind it?
No, he's the grot's he's hiding it.
Riding it.
He's on the back there. I'm loving the face and the eyes, like the driver. You know what I mean? Like he's got a. Yeah. It looks mean. Like from the front, it looks mean. I like the directionality of it. You know, it's got that It's got that look about it. It looks like it'll actually do you some damage if it flies into you. But it also looks fast, you know? It looks substantial enough, but it looks like it would be fast.
Pod racery, but more boost.
Yeah, but like sort of flying brick pod racer style, you know?
Yeah. Punch in the face pod race.
That's it, man. That's it. Cracking. Yeah, and he has the little grot in the back there. He's got his knob up the front. Cheeky. I like it. And then this is our top-down view here. Yeah, so you have your little grot in the cupola in the back, and a bit of chains, and then the drone guns, and all the Daka. Sweet spud. It looks nice, man. And I like that you've turned it upside down as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. The tank's built upside down. So he's gotten the tail vehicle, and it's literally flipped.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if it crashed, the orcs didn't, know which way's up. It didn't have a label saying this way up, so.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, do you know what I think it would be? It'd be like the orcs have put that much stuff on it, right? That they get it to hover again, and the balance on it flips. Like they make it too top heavy. So it's like, yes. So it's too top heavy. And like if they put like the big armor plates on the engine or something like that, so then they're like, "All right, grand, it floats this way. We'll build it this way." But yeah, that's class, mate. That looks absolutely class. Cracking work, nice. Steve-O just started the highlights on his big mech. Nice progress, man. There's no catching him up now. I'm telling you, Dread. We need to get the finger out, man.
I know.
Need to get the finger out. Kobe was saying I was thinking about stippling on my yellow. Thanks for the suggestion. No bother, Kobe. Go check it out, man. The big mech. Now I've got to resub to you lot. Looking forward to an army overview of all your orc armies when they're done. Yeah. It's only taken us a few years. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Big Mech Dan Skull's been working on his Macari. That's looking good, man. That's looking really good. Really nice work on the ribbons, I suppose, or the cloth. But yeah, it looks good. And the metal as well. Yeah, it's cracking, man. Well, yeah, having a bash with contrast paints, I reckon. Wonder if Dan's still there. If you'll throw into the comment section what he's painting with. I'm thinking contrast paints. What do you think?
The big mech. Yeah, I think they look like contrast paints. Yeah.
Yeah, but they look good.
Like the greens that I tested out, they do go quite thin like that, especially if you use a white under them. So yeah,
Yeah,
use a white under.
I was finding what you said about the contrast paints to be, pretty spot on. Where
Thank you very much.
they're not all the same. Do you know what I mean? Like some of them are
Yeah.
thicker or heavier in pigment than others. So you know what I mean? It's just you have to kind of adjust to each individual's contrast paint, but they each have their own functions and merits. So some could do with being thinned down with a bit more medium, and others are pretty like good to use straight out of the pot.
Yeah.
I found that actually, yeah. When I was mucking around with myself, I found that to be the case. But yeah,
Yeah.
Dan, looking good, bud. Looking good. Squig Boss, gonna use him as a mega knob. Squig Boss has got himself the old Gazgal. Old Orky Gaz, aka this.
Daka sent me one because I didn't have one actually. Rivers and Daka sent me one.
Did you know? I think I've like 2 or 3 of them now at this stage.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I only recently got another one in trade because I got an eBay. I bought one off of eBay for £2. Didn't realize it was Finecast, and then somebody else wanted a Finecast one, so I traded. So I got a metal one. But yeah, this is the staple Mega Armored Warboss. When we used to have Mega Armored Warbosses in the Codex, not bitter.
Not bitter at all.
Not bitter at all. Yeah, Squig Boss looking good, man. I'm sick of seeing all these filthy bad moons all around, but it is nice. Very nice work, dude. Very nice. Fair play to you. Good stuff, man. Yeah, just run him as a war boss now. Don't even run him as a Mega Knob. You can run him as a war boss. He's a bit bigger, like Mega Armored War Boss. But yeah, you could do him as a Mega Knob if you want. Mega Boss. Gar. You started to get a bit of paint on the old War Boss. Yes, prime time. Look at the size of that base, man. Gar, how big is that base, like? Is that like Gazgul's size base? He's not going back now. He's even got like the yeah, visually it starts to tie together once you put a bit of primer onto it. I'm noticing the big like super gatlet of doom. Brack the war boss. You guys still on? We are indeed.
When you build something that's of so many different parts, like you've got bits of plastic there and bits of metal and bits of toy and bits and bobs and all sorts of things, it can look a bit odd until you actually get the undercoat on it and tie it together so it all looks like one thing.
Visually tied. G, the Hyper Sapien, is working on color schemes. He's using some of the old Warhammer Fantasy heads and stuff. Nice. Nice, man. It's looking good. Liking the green. Very nice green. Looking the skin. They are some turquoise pants. Nice. And the bit of lip work as well. See, look, even he drills his barrels. Good man. Prime example. Nice, man. Nice work. Keep up the good work, says Gits. Happy days. Yeah, looking good, man. Looking good, G. Nice work, man. Very nice. Gear Guts, last image for me. Very work in progress, but working on a new counts as Squigot. Oof. Jesus. Ooh. He's a chunky boy. You don't want him to sit on you. That's for sure. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it's like when it's finished. Very big.
Definitely.
Nice. I like the direction, man. I like the direction. Nice work in progress there. Beefy Cobby, the pilot for the next Grot tank. I love the Imperial Guard legs.
Yeah.
It's buzzed on. It works, man. It works. She's working on a couple more paint jobs.
Couple of boys.
Yeah, a couple of boys. Cracking on. Nice bit of flame work there. Nice bit of flame work. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Tidy. Yeah, man. Looking sweet. And that's it for that this week on the old progress. So happy days.
That's what I'll put together anyway.
Yeah. So give us a look what the Dread managed to put together. Puts together. Has he got like guns for eyes or what?
No, it's just got binocular. Well, like sighters, I suppose. Binocular sighters. He's looking for a target to shoot with his rocket, isn't he?
Ah, I see. But yeah, like what we were saying about Gar's miniatures, like visually that'll all tie together when you just throw a primer on it. But yeah, he looks like he's ready to
Shove that up.
yeah,
Shove it where the sun don't shine.
metallic behinds. That's it. Trying to get some treads going. But yeah, nice narrative with it. I like it. I find it funny that you've even replaced the rocket with a different rocket on the front. You know what I mean? Whereas I would have been like, it's just a rocket. But you're like, no, different rocket. Cracking wolf.
You've got to play around a little bit.
This is it. You have to have a bit of fun with it. Well, it's been great crack. We've hit the 2-hour mark. It's been good laugh as always, Dread. If you're looking to catch the two of us again in the future, we do have a shared channel with me, Dread, the Hobby Git, and Steve-O. We have the War Bosses of the Apocalypse. It's a channel that should be in the description below, where we do one video on the 1st of every month. So if you want to see all of us chatting together, go subscribe and check it out. You'll also find in the description page Dread's channel as well. So go hit him up if you're not subscribed to Dread. He's getting the ball rolling again. So anyone who's missed him, you know what I mean?
Go and check out some old stuff, and I'll have some new stuff soon.
Exactly. So there you go. So check him out. Link in the description below. Hit him, subscribe. Hit the likes on the old video if you enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed to me, it's like, well, you know, what are you doing with your life? Come on, sort it out.
At this stage of the video, I think they really should be. If they're still watching.
If you're still watching at this point, you must love the content. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks to Dread for being on, and thanks to everyone for sharing your work in progress videos. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next Hobby Hangout. So that's goodbye from me. And enough said from Dread. Enough said from Dread. Cheers, guys. We'll catch you again. Boom. Boom. There we go.